Aaron Judge is the true home run king. Albert Pujols is pretty awesome. And the Mets and Braves battle it out for supremacy in the NL East. Diamond Diehards is on. Joe Rizzo here, bringing you baseball. Soon to be joined by the dog, Jeff Healy. But we had to go live and cut in because Judge is sitting at 61 home runs. It's the now 7th inning of the Yankees game in the Bronx with the Baltimore Orioles. He's sitting at 61. We know that this is going to be the time where he hits 62 because that's the way we do it over here. And I was like, dog, we got to hurry up. This is how we're going to do it. And, of course, Dog's trying to hustle his way onto the air to join us. In the meantime, Judge at the play. Oh, we can't give you play-by-play, folks, but he's got a 2-0 count, and it's going to 3-0. And, boy, the restless fans at Yankee Stadium have seen him walk just too many times. But he's got the green light on 3-0 against Watkins. If you hit it off a guy named number 80. There's a foul ball by Judge. So if you're watching on Facebook, we appreciate it. And we're glad that you want to share the moment with us. So keep our volume up, but keep Michael K's volume up, or keep John Sterling's volume up, or whoever you have on. Hear their call and listen to us at the same time. This is rolling the dice here. And they walked him. Okay, so it's probably not going to happen in this show, but you never know. The Yankees have 2 shots here to, with no outs in the 7th inning. They could very well get around. And they're winning 4-0, so they're unlikely to blow the lead and bat in the 9th. But they do possibly have enough here against the back of the Orioles bullpen. And there's a chance that they could get through a few more batters here and give Judge yet another shot. That's the advantage of batting him leadoff, which they've done, I believe, for 18 or 19 straight games now. And his leadoff numbers make him look like even better than Ted Williams or Babe Ruth at the moment from that span. So it's pretty cool. Interesting that the Orioles here got officially eliminated on Friday night. So that kind of takes the pressure off of them to throw every bit of juice that they have to try to win the game at the Yankees. And the best thing about the Orioles this season has been their bullpen. They've been basically, mediocre or less than average in terms of offense and in most stats. But their bullpen's been really good, and that's the way they've been able to win 81 games and lose 75 heading into this one. They're also vying, Baltimore is, to become the first team ever to lose 110 games or more in one season and then finish above 500 the next. So things are looking up in Baltimore, but for now, the Yankees are just hoping that, hey, the big guns in the Orioles bullpen will get a couple of days off here, and maybe they get some of the lesser lights in the back of the Baltimore pen for Judge and company to for Judge to get the homer, but for the other Yankees to maybe get in there and turn the lineup over a little bit. At this point, in mere moments, you should be seeing the dog come on and join us. We're doing this hot. We're doing this live. And I hear him, but I don't see him yet. And, if you're an audiophile, that's fine. If you're just listening to this, regardless of when you're listening to it, then that's fine too. But if you're watching and you're watching live, you now see the dog. And he's there. So, Dog, I had to jump on because the Rizzo at bat was coming. And, of course, it's time for a Windows update as cousin Anthony gets a hit. We can't do play-by-play, but that might help the same game parlay, the one where we actually need a Judge to get a base hit too, please, at some point.
Sorry about that. I was missing a floppy disk. I haven't seen something boot that slow since I don't know, Windows 2.0. I don't know what's your problem with this computer. So here we go.
Yeah, so Dog, I didn't even have a chance to to monitor what's going on Facebook. So I probably should do that, or maybe you should do that if people have jumped in. This is like not a normal time for us. Saturday afternoon at 3:34 in the middle of like college football, and I got to save my voice a little bit because there was New Jersey Rockets hockey on Friday night. There's New Jersey Rockets hockey at 6:45 this afternoon, and there's New Jersey Rockets hockey on NFL Sunday in the evening. So I got to save a little bit of voice for that. But I was sure that Judge was going to hit the home run right there. But it's only the 7th inning. There's no outs. Torres just singled in a run after Judge got on a walk, and Rizzo basically almost like swing bunted one to left field against the shift. So they're already a third of the way through getting a Judge another at bat, and they have 6 outs and 6 more batters to go. So essentially, if they stay out of a double play and they get like 2 runners on from here, I think that would mean Judge would get another shot. You're usually the math guy, but sports math is usually one of my strong suits. I'm pretty sure that's the way it goes, right? If you have 6 batters and you have 6 outs, and nobody hits into a double play to erase the 2 runners that are already there, then actually if they get 1 runner on, that would give Judge a chance, wouldn't it? So they only need 1 more runner here. If Josh Donaldson could just hit a home run right here, that would really do the trick.
That would help out a lot.
You know what else would help? Another like Harrison Bader hit or home run. So I could keep
every highlight coming in. I'm like, oh, I can't wait for Rizzo with this one. He's wonderful. He's worth it all.
Hey, they've been great since he came back.
He's totally stepped up for him. It's been huge. Yankee fans have been amazed. The defense, everything else. So we talked. It's the defense up the middle, right? That's the biggest difference in the Yankees year over year. Has been the improved defense, in my opinion. And Bader once again is kind of showing it. I'm not the guy I was necessarily predicting, but good job by Riz to see that he would be a difference maker and would be able to get back on the field this year.
Good job by Josh Donaldson. If he's safe at second, he is. Okay. So Donaldson gets the RBI single. Rizzo just keeps chugging around, or rather Torres and Rizzo. Oh, Torres scored 2. It's 7-0. There's no outs in the 7th. So we're almost, I think now, have we assured? No, well, we got to make sure Donaldson doesn't get doubled off still, I think. Because if he's the 4 hitter and they have 6 outs left, they could still make 6 outs if he gets erased on the bases. So as long as Donaldson doesn't get erased on the bases, we're going to have a Judge at bat in the 8th.
That's all we're waiting for.
Oh, boy. Oh, baby. Let's see. I should probably bring the Facebook feed up on my phone. Usually I have the Facebook feed on my computer, but I'm rocking the Yankee game up there. Dog's got to follow along, although you'll get the cut-ins, right? You'll get the cut-ins. Mr. Met over here doesn't want to spring for yes. I can't blame you, but they'll cut in pretty much everywhere, right? So
I'm trying to peek on ESPN Game Day, and apparently the one window I have open plus Zoom is apparently nuking my computer right now.
Oh,
so a little disappointing. I got my 3 monitors set up here and can't do nothing.
Terrible job by Dog right there.
Oh, there's an out. Go. Staying ground out.
Okay. All right, I see Dog on there. Let's go Judge. Okay. Schmidt's on there. All right, there's a okay, so there's an out. Stanton makes the out. Did you just say that?
I did.
Oh, all right. So you're ahead of me.
Well, yeah, I'm on the Game Day.
Okay.
So
don't kill the drama.
Okay. I'll go back in my color corner.
You can kill the drama a little bit, just not that much.
Dog is here to say you're right, Riz.
Chat. All right. So Dog, we have the other things I teased here are the Mets Braves series battling it out in the NL East, and Albert Pujols just defying Father Time. Father Time eventually will win out, but Albert Pujols is doing a pretty good job putting him off. We'll keep track of the Yankee game. We'll perk it up when Judge is coming back up. He still has a few to go here. It could come up that his at bat is still within the 7th inning here. He led off with a walk in the 7th, and he has not yet hit the 60-second home run. But we also haven't done a show in a while, so for us to come on and do a show, I feel like he's probably gonna make us look good for time machine purposes, as always.
Exactly. I've seen this coming. We saw it coming.
Check the tape. Yeah, we saw it. Okay, so I think the Yankees have finally made their second out of the inning.
That is correct.
That was Cabrera. And Harrison Bader's coming up. All right, we might have to do some illegal play-by-play for Harrison Bader. We'll do play-by-play if it turns out that it's like a good thing that he does. My boy.
Exactly.
How about like, Dog, I thought of a couple of crazy scenarios for like the last moment of the World Series, as not shockingly at all, Harrison Bader just rips one into the left field corner to drive in a run and make it 8-0.
Brian Donaldson
stroll into second base with a double because I told you that Harrison Bader was basically a steal for Jordan Montgomery. And I like Jordan Montgomery. That's the thing that like is lost in the shuffle. I don't hate Jordan Montgomery. I just don't think that he was I don't at all. I just don't think that he was as great as everybody's making it up to be. He might not even start for the Cardinals in their wild card round. There's probably 3 that are going to start ahead of him. And he might not even start if they advance. So, we'll got to see. Meanwhile, you got a guy who's like your starting center fielder. And, and he moves your already awesome center fielder over to right. And if you don't want to play him, you just play Judge in center anyway. So it gives you, plus he gets Aaron Hicks out of the lineup. So
yeah, Bader obviously, I would say, overachieved what most of us thought, to be able to get back on the field this year and be able to jump in right away, as quick and be as productive with the bat, given the time off and so forth. So I think that was a positive. And again, I think people were, not to dwell on it again, but like the thought I think among Yankee fans is that they were disappointed in the starting pitching, and then you trade away a guy who some people thought were decent and didn't really see the value of the other guy coming back. So it was sort of like we had a hole. Now we dug the hole deeper. We got a guy who might be able to help us, or we might not see him till spring training. I think that was generally the genesis of it. But it's after a little rough start to the trade, it's starting to come around. Not quite the torture that you put me through with Diaz, but
Well, I understand.
2 weeks instead of 2 years.
I understand why fans didn't like the trade, because you're trading a guy who goes on the best streak of his career by far. And it's not even close. By the way, I thought that was going to fall in there. I thought Higashioka was going to get another hit. He's been ripping the ball. That's great news for the Yanks heading into the playoffs. If both catchers are viable offensive guys, that's pretty awesome. So I understand why there was a lot of negativity toward that trade, because you're trading a guy who kind of like has been in your rotation, and you're getting back a guy who's injured, like you just said, basically just rehashing what Dog said. So your treat is down the line. Like, you got to wait for it. You got to be like, forget about the dog. You got to be like a patient puppy, where all you want is you want to eat. You want Bader to be out there so you could see, so you could judge this trade right away. And you have to wait. And then you have to look at it down the line. And to me, when you have what the Yankees have, he's just a more valuable commodity to the Yankees than Montgomery is. Especially they made the Montes trade. It hasn't really worked out. They haven't really missed that much of a beat. I don't think that Montgomery, with what he was doing, was going to all of a sudden turn around and have the streak that he had with the Cardinals, if he was still wearing pinstripes. I just, he himself attributed it to having Yadier Molina behind the plate. So, I mean, which
sometimes
to me
guys,
is like
sometimes guys just need a new spot, right? I mean, look at JD Davis. I mean, that trade's blown up on the. I mean, I always liked JD Davis. That one kind of hurt a little bit even at the time. I kind of gave him the benefit of the doubt, but that's come back to roast him big time. And look no further than last night. It would have been pretty nice to see JD up there at some point.
I know. So, now, who's your you want to talk about your big catcher that the Mets just recalled, the #1 prospect in baseball?
I'm surprised Riz is kicking this to me after he's like 0 for 3. yeah, we got off hit a rocket his first time up, but right at somebody, so that didn't help. Yeah, I mean, Francisco Alvarez, obviously, Met fans been pining all really since like mid-August, right? When you kind of saw that like Ruff and Vogelbach was kind of returning back to reality, and Ruff was disappointing. Met fans were kind of like, this guy's raking. Let's bring him in. The Mets, have trouble hitting lefties. This guy destroys lefties, and it's another catcher, right? Never doesn't hurt to have that capability on your roster as well. So they let him play through the season and down the minors, and then brought him up the last second here for the last little spark against the Braves. So we will see. I mean, he got put in about as tough a spot as you're going to see for a rook. That last at bat, he looked outmatched versus Jansen. Jansen's a really tough one, especially like if you're a rookie. I mean, he's just got that awkward delivery and everything else. Like, he's tough to get in the groove of anyway. So that really was a tough one. That one, I asked one a few times. I actually was sitting there, think about, what Buck was doing. I'm like, this feels like a Vogelbach spot that, you need the big hit. You get the righty up there. Alvarez destroys lefties. He's, okay against the righty. You kind of get Vogelbach. That's kind of what he's here to do. They were going to bring him up, I guess, after Naquin and then Vogelbach. That was probably the spot to do it. DH to DH. You gave him a shot the time before. He couldn't get it done against the McHugh. So that's one that, I think maybe Buck him a little. That's like a nice thing to do in like August, right? But like, this is kind of like the season on the line.
Like, I mean, like, it's literally,
it's not really development time. It's like, we kind of need this, like, sorry, but we kind of need a home run like right now.
Somebody had a really funny tweet. I wish I could remember who it was. It was like Darren Ruff went on the 10-day IL with whiplash from turning his neck so hard when he saw that Francisco Alvarez got recalled from the minors and was in the lineup tonight. Like, Jesus.
That was rough.
By the way, Nestor Cortez, one hitter. He's gonna leave now. That'll help the fantasy team, which is trying to clinch first place. A little W from Nestor, as long as the Yankees could hold this 8-run lead, and Judge gets another shot at it momentarily here.
Life is good all around there.
Got the hockey draft coming up Monday.
I'll tell you, tonight is the night though. For Mets on this is the season tonight. This I am calling out is a must win for the Metsies.
Is it because it's Scherzer?
Yes.
Okay.
It's got to be that. I mean, Bassitt's. I mean, hey, hopefully Bassitt can get it done. If for whatever reason the Mets bats still stay like ice. But I went in. I was saying last night. I'm like, DeGrom and Scherzer, win these two, win the division. Right. That's should have been your mentality on it. DeGrom couldn't get it done. So pitched okay. Wasn't terrible, right? The 3 bombs, but I mean, it's 3 runs. He didn't walk anybody, like he had the troubles with that last time. He just had a couple that drifted over the middle. And the Braves, to their credit, they're great hitters and they're great power hitters, and they drilled them. And pretty much any mistake he made got drilled for a home run. Rest of the time, he struck him out. So, I don't know. Interesting one. It'll be interesting. I mean, if you want to segue, I mean, DeGrom looking to opt out too.
Is he really looking to opt out? Is he looking to opt out?
That's what he said. And I don't know if that's the best move.
I know that's what he said, but I mean, is that really like? Do you think it's just posturing that he, or I mean, like if they make him the offer, you really think he's going to go?
I mean, my guess is to just sweeten the pot, and he sort of runs with it. I mean, he's a high risk. Like how many? I mean, the problem is who would take a shot on him, right? There's that handful of teams that would take a shot on him to be the final cog to put him over the edge. And if you think he's come back and he's going to be healthy for you, there's nobody better. But it's a high risk thing that, again, not everyone can kind of make that sort of thing. Kind of like Mets picking up Scherzer, right? But would Atlanta do it? Would a Dodgers do it? Would a Yankees do it? Yeah, probably. So I don't know. Like I said, it's a tough one for the Mets. It's a tough one for DeGrom. That's not an easy answer in this one way or the other. I mean, the best bet probably all around is that the Mets give him some juice, give him some achievable incentives that basically kind of around like just being around, right? I mean, if he's available to pitch, he's going to get this stuff, right? Any sort of reasonable incentives you put on there, and I think that's what you kind of do, and hopefully that's enough to keep him and keep building the team around it. And if not, I don't know. You may have to bite the bullet. As I said, he's a high risk to eat up a lot of your payroll. And there's only so many teams that can do that.
Well, what's weird is like the Dodgers all of a sudden become back in play for like him. They might be less in play for, say, Judge, but they'd probably be more in play just because of the way things have happened. They'd probably be more in play for friggin' DeGrom when you think about it. And they already have 109 wins with 5 games left in the season. Like, how much more do you guys need over there? Jeez. I mean, and but with Walker Buehler being out for the entirety of next season, almost certainly, and then Buehler is a free agent, right? The Dodgers, I feel like they would be even more so than the Yankees. I feel like the Dodgers would be what the Met fan would fear, having DeGrom taken away from them. But I just don't really see it happening.
What we would fear would be the Phillies to the Braves. that would literally be ice water getting poured in. That would be.
Yeah, but
I don't see the fit as much.
I don't see the fit.
That's more of a nightmare sort of situation. The Dodgers and the Yankees are the two that would seem to be it.
I think it's more so the Dodgers because look, if the Yankees come in and poach him, I mean, Steve Cohen's just going to pay Aaron Judge like $60 million a year. Like he's just gonna be like, yeah. I mean, look, you guys.
I was gonna say you're reading exactly where I was gonna go. I'm like, DeGrom this, DeGrom that. I'm like, or you sign Judge. all of a sudden, a lot of problems in that lineup get fixed pretty good. Like now, it's like, hey, Taijuan Walker, can you give me 6-3?
I mean, look,
we score 5 a night.
that's why the
what else not gonna happen?
The Yankees, the Yankees with DeGrom and the Mets with Judge thing it becomes an arms race if one of them decides. It's like in hockey when you start signing guys to an offer sheet, a restricted free agent, where you're like, well, we signed this guy, and if they don't match the offer sheet, we get it. We have to give up like 2 number 1 picks, but we don't really care because the guy's like 22 and he's already scored like 50 goals in a season. But like nobody does it because they're afraid that once somebody starts doing it, everybody's young players are just going to get poached. So that's probably what it's like with the big guns on the Yankees and the Mets having successful teams right now, right? Like that they're both division winners or potential division winners. Neither, the Yankees will be the 2nd seed. The Mets are going to be no worse than the 4th with the 3rd best record in the in the National League, and maybe even with baseball. I think they have about the same record as the Astros or. So, if one team was like a 72-win team and they had one guy and that guy was opting out because it was like, 5 years of a shit show, I mean, you could kind of understand where the other team might grab him, or that guy says, well, I always wanted to be a Yankee. I enjoyed my time with the Mets, blah, 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 or vice versa. You could kind of understand it. But in this day and age, like, I just do not see that happening at all. Like I see Judge back with the Yankees. I see DeGrom back with the Mets. I
They both have the resources necessary to keep them, and there's no reason to let them
there's
go.
no reason not. There's no reason to not keep them. Yeah. Like if you're the Mets,
I mean, even more so with Judge. I said the DeGrom thing with the injuries. That's a little bit more. I mean, he's had a bunch, and it's been a while.
I actually disagree. I think it's the other way around. I think because of the Mets' tremendous resources, you're more likely to afford the risk of a DeGrom, and then, okay, so he has more injuries, whatever. You have the resources to go out and get another pitcher and slot him in. In the Yankees case, it's like you got that outfielder. He comes out of the middle of your lineup. It's going to be hard to go in and invest in another bat or, like a position player / bat at a $300 million or plus clip when you already have, at least one of those guys on your team, right? Like, I think that's also why the Yankees shied away from Freeman, although Freeman in the end, ended up signing a contract that I years wise, it wasn't what I would have wanted, but the money was really like pretty reasonable, and they probably could have been in on that. Although I think Freeman pretty much said it was either the Braves or the Dodgers. Like and I think the Yankees knew that, and they didn't want to waste their time too much, and they liked their position with being able to re-sign Rizzo, which they did, short-term deal. He's another guy who could opt out, but that's completely on Judge, right? Like if Judge stays, Rizzo's definitely re-signing, right? Like it's a no-brainer. Like so. In terms of like the Mets, like we're kind of looking ahead, and in terms of Judge here with the Yankees, we're kind of looking ahead. But like really for the Mets, we need to look at right now, dog. We need to look at right now. DeGrom gives up 3 solo homers in the opening game. They go DeGrom against Fried. I thought originally it was supposed to be Bassett's turn, and they manipulated the rotation to have DeGrom first and Scherzer second and Bassett third. And the idea being, right, dog, like if the Mets win one of the games in the series, then they can't exit the series any worse than being tied with the Braves and having clinched the tiebreaker. There's no extra game. So if the Mets win one game in the series, they win the season tiebreaker. And in a flat-footed tie with the Braves, the Mets win the division in that case. The only way the Mets would not have the tiebreaker is if the Braves sweep them. Yeah. And then the Mets would be, 2 games out with down the tiebreaker and could be eliminated from the division as soon as Monday, which is crazy, right? Like if they lost these next 2, the Braves could clinch the division Monday. In a way, if you're going to lose the division and you're the Mets, that's the best case scenario. Because you don't want to keep DeGrom would pitch in the final game if you're trying to win the division. And if you win it, you get 6 days off and you could reset your rotation. He could start again in game 1 or Scherzer, whichever way you want to do it, both would be available. But if he pitches on that Wednesday and they don't win the division, he's not available to start any of the wild card games against the Padres, probably, almost certainly the Padres. So that's scary as hell. But if you get eliminated before that, you're like, Jake, take a rest. You're starting the first game of the wild card series, right? It's
I don't like the sound of any of that. I want to win
the
division. And we talked last time about how huge that is, right? That number 2 seed is huge.
Okay, Doug, Judge is up.
Oh, there we go.
Okay, we sort of predicted as soon as you got on, I guess, just after he got up, but like the Yankees just kept running up the runs, and against the odds here, he's gotten another at bat in the 8th. And dog, you can't spoil it. Like you're going to get it on game day.
No, I'm laughing at the heat map of the strike zone. It's just at the bottom low and away is the only one that's like clear. Everything else is like bright red.
Okay, so it's ball 1. Is it still Watkins? Yeah, Watkins is still in there. Yeah. Don't ask me for his first name. Dog could look it up. He's got it on game day.
Spencer with an S.
Spencer Watkins. Judge sitting at 61.
Not exactly.
And that was a 4-seamer he looks at for ball 2. That was pretty close, that one. But on most players, it was probably a strike. But on the 6-7 Judge, not a strike. Dog, you can't see it on like one of the TVs in the background on the live look-in? Jeez. Oh, come on, ball 3. This guy, what? Somebody's got to charge the mound and get this guy kicked out of the game. Rizzo should throw the bat at him. Apparently, Rizzo, when he got up the last at bat, the fans were booing the pitcher and they were telling him to F off or something.
Ooh.
Oh, Judge foul. It's not going to be long enough. But he fouls one off to right field, like 12 rows up. Yeah, they were telling the pitcher that like he sucked. Yeah, the crowd started chanting asshole at the pitcher. This is courtesy of my friend Charlie Zeggers, fellow Fordham grad. Yeah, they started chanting asshole at him. I'm like, that's a good chant. Oh, Judge fouling off another one. So, all right, so Watkins is stepping in there. He went 3-0 to him, and now he's challenged him a little bit. This next one, he's probably going to roll it up there like a bocce pitch. I mean, he's definitely not trying to groove it, but he's not, he's staying away. He's staying away. And that's why Judge is trying to hit it to right field, it looks like. And, of course, we can't do play-by-play. Oh, my God, he struck him out. And it was a strike.
Came after him. 3-0, and then came after him. Give him credit.
All right, let's see. There's 2 outs. It's the 8th inning. So the Yankees either have to blow an 8-run lead or bat around with 2 outs. Can they get 8 straight runners on? Spencer Watkins says no. That was a good pitch. That changeup. And now everybody's just flooding to the exits. They don't want to see the Yankees finish it out so Nestor Cortez can complete the victory. I don't know, Dog. You know what was funny? In the description, I kind of wrote it that Judge is the real home run king. So you couldn't tell. I was
waiting for that one.
Like you can't tell if it's like, yeah, well, he is. He's at 61. Like I made it sound like he was going to get 62, and I wrote it in the past like his historic at bat or the historic game. I might have to change the description a little bit there.
A little teaser. Yeah.
Well, if somebody wants to come in, I could use the Cousin Anthony home run right now. Oh, he's just getting hits all over the place. He almost killed Watkins by hitting it back through the box. He's like, I don't know. I did the Rizzo Judge home run parlay. I did Aristides Aquino from the Reds because he's got like 3 homers and 11 at bats against Drew Smiley from the Cubs. That's the level of degeneration we're at today, Doc. I'm not betting college football. I'm betting baseball guys to hit home runs.
I had a buddy who was betting last week on Rutgers women's soccer against Penn State.
Like, I didn't even know you could do that.
That might be. Hey, that was my question too. I'm like, is that even legal? And then 2, what level degenerate are you?
Well, you can't be in New Jersey. In New Jersey.
It was a little local parlay with the Penn State fan. But.
Oh, okay. Because online you can't. If you're in New Jersey, you can't bet New Jersey teams online. Yeah.
So
I voted against that. You should be able to bet a Rutgers game.
Sure, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we should increase the degenerates in the state.
Like when Fordham plays like Princeton or something, like I'm like, I'll just throw a couple of bucks on the Rams basketball just to see what's happening. I'm like, why is this game off the board? And I'm like, oh, because New Jersey. And when St. Peter's was making its run during the NCAA tournament, led of course by a fellow Bergen Catholic grad. I'm like, I want to bet St. Peter's, and I couldn't because it's in New Jersey. So I wonder if Judge is going to sit down and not go out for defense in the 9th. They got to try to give him a little bit of rest here and there. I guess if he's DH and he doesn't care.
He's got a couple days right after. He's got some time.
All right, back to Mets Braves, Dog. Let's break down the scenario for the Uncle Paul.
Actually, let's go back to. I'm gonna pick another bone with Buck. What's with Tyler McGill? 3-1 game. Penn is fully rested. Penn's ready to go. You've got Scherzer going the next day, right? So who's kind of your horse? He kind of packed that one in awfully quick on that one. Freed out of the game. It's bullpen versus bullpen. Yeah, it's 8th inning, 9th inning, it's gonna get tougher. But like they were still there. Colin McHugh, on the other side. Hey, you got a shot on here. I don't know what he was thinking with Tyler McGill on that one. I don't understand that move. Obviously at the time we were all flipping out. We didn't realize that DeGrom had a blood blister going on. But Yeah, there's plenty of guys. I mean, it was last night and tonight. You got to have an all hands on deck mentality, and they didn't. And I was surprised. I mean, I'll say it was 3-1. That game is a winnable game, still right there. And I don't hate McGill or whatnot, but that game was not the game to screw around with it. You've got to. To me, you've got to. You don't want to sit like the. Two things that irk me, I guess. Like last night, one McGill coming in, and then two, you have like Tyler Naquin and a rookie earlier last two at batters in the ninth inning with the bases loaded. I mean, is that how you want to go down? In between these two games, you just got to win one, right? That's the real crunch on now. You don't want to walk into that third game down 0-2, and you get all the swirls of Met collapses and disasters and dot House of Horrors down in Atlanta. You don't want to be fighting that on Sunday, right? You want to win with your two horses that should give you the advantage in DeGrom and Scherzer. And they just didn't seem to have it. And I for once, I kind of see even with Buck a little bit on that. I don't agree with those moves on it. Even like a Drew Smith, even who's shown a little bit better oomph back if you want to save Ottavino and May and Lugo and Diaz. But I mean, I don't know. I didn't dig it, not at all. And you may go back and really kick yourself.
Oh, dog! I got breaking news. Mark Feinsand, the Angels have announced a 1-year deal with Shohei Ohtani for $30 million for 2023. There will be no arbitration hearing for the starting pitcher DH at Feinsand, Feinsand.
Shocking.
My old co-worker from the Ticker and the great, awesome reporter for MLB.com, Mark Feinsand, reports the $30 million deal for next season for Shohei Ohtani. That does not preclude him from becoming a free agent the year after. That just means that he is going to get a raise from $5.5 million to $30 million for the season. So he doesn't have to go through any of that off-season BS, I guess. But, listen, he still might be in play for anyone next year. We'll see about that. We've predicted right here. Well, I shouldn't throw you into it, dog. I don't know if you.
I think we were both down with the Bucks, whatever.
First $50 million player.
Yeah, 100%. I'm actually shocked it went that low. I guess the arbitration. I mean, how much can you really crank? But that's a good deal. And like I said, I think you tipped up on it too. You know what? Maybe that's a movable deal, and maybe Ohtani was more interested in that than necessarily getting every last buck.
Well, listen, I think it's smart for Ohtani because what was he really going to get in arbitration? Like, how much more would he have gotten? Now he doesn't have to go through spring training. He doesn't have to go through, any time during the off season and worry about like if he tweaks his arm or he hurts his knee or some stupid thing happens, right? Like he doesn't have to worry about that.
He's already set for life. But he's set for life. And,
no, I mean just for next season, like say something happened to him, right? Yeah. Like say there was
say he blows it up and like can't get the mega deal, right?
Yeah.
So he still gets 35, 40 million, whatever he's already got banked. Like he's already got enough with this 30 mil that he's taken care of for life. He's still going to get the giant payday on the far side, but yeah, like I said, I actually kind of think this does set up makes it easier to trade him, right? In the like now you have a known number, known commodity. You can deal off of that, set up a long-term trade and sign with somebody else. Because that's the thing, like we talked about, right? It's like, is he really going to stick around the Angels the way they're going? Probably not, right?
And
maximizes his trade value for them. And I wonder if there's probably like no trading stuff in there too. Be my guess too. He probably wants to keep some of that control in there too, if he can.
So the thing is, if he's traded, right? Mm-hmm. It's an off-season deal. Like you're not like he wouldn't.
Yeah, this is like a winter meeting thing.
Yeah. So, but the thing is, it also gives
right.
Well, look, we've said it. The reason why we said it, and look, there's like people sit there and ask you the question, even in his 61 home run season here, where he's the he's going to be the American League MVP over Ohtani, who theoretically you could vote for any year if he puts up what he's doing now, because we just simply haven't seen somebody do this. Um, where sage people will ask you, people who really know baseball will say, would you trade Judge for Ohtani? Like, or if you could pick either one, who would you rather have? And it's kind of a tough call, even if you love Aaron Judge. But Ohtani's value has not even been fully touched. Why? Because, and we've gone over this before, but in case you're new and checking this out for the first time, or you didn't listen to every little piece so intently, the reason is because as great as he is in the regular season, he's a massive weapon in a playoff series because of what he does, and because you have the pitcher DH rule now. So he could be your game one starter, and he could bat leadoff for you. He could hit 4 or 5 times in the game, and he doesn't have to come out. Like, even if he's a dud as a pitcher, if he pitches, 5 innings or something and gives up 4 runs, you don't have to take him out and lose his bat now. And if he does more of what you expect, where he's become a very, very good major league pitcher, not quite the Cy Young, but, maybe in the discussion, then you have a top of the rotation pitcher and, one of the top 3 hitters pretty much on any team around the majors, including his own. He's either the best, probably the second best hitter still on the Angels. Like, if I'm just taking hitters, I'll still take Trout over Ohtani, but it's fairly close.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
And Rendon, I think, just got activated for the end of the year. So if Rendon ever got back to World Series form, he's a formidable bat over there. And they got a couple other decent sticks, but at worst, I don't think that there's any lineup in the majors where he'd be any worse than like your third best hitter. So you're talking about a 1 or a 2 in the rotation on pretty much any team in baseball, and a top 3 hitter, and he's the same guy. So even if you paid him $50 million, you're paying $25 million for the pitcher, $25 million for the hitter, and
both of those are a good deal.
And you don't have to expend the extra roster spot.
Yep.
You can carry an extra pitcher, or you could carry an extra hitter. You could carry a defensive replacement. You could carry a pinch runner for a short series. If you're trying to win a wild card series and it's best of 3, I mean, if you could afford to carry a pinch runner, that could be the difference between winning and losing. That could be the difference between tying a game and losing it, right?
Yep.
And we've seen it a million times. Look, the Red Sox never break the Babe Ruth drought if not for Dave Roberts. He was a pinch runner. That was the whole key. That started the avalanche, right?
Yep.
There you go. I give you a little anti-Yankee dig there, dog. I dug myself. Yankees complete the victory, by the way, so that's a good one for the fantasy team. As Nestor Cortez was brilliant, and in the same game parlay, dog. Usually I'll pick the minimums for the pitchers, like whatever the strikeouts are, and whatever the minimum. Like, we'll give up at least whatever 2 hits. And with Cortez, I'm like, nah, I'm not doing that. He might throw a no-hitter, and he only gave up 1 hit. So I don't think I won the parlay because of the other stuff I needed, but like, I definitely stayed away on Cortez on the minimum hits, and I gave him. I didn't do the minimum strikeouts. I went to like 6 or so, and I think he eclipsed that. So I'll check and see how I did here and pass that along. But dog, the other thing we didn't really talk about with the Mets and the Braves, like we talked about trying to win the division and how important it is, but we didn't really go over why, right? And that's the path, right? That's the path once you are in the playoffs.
Yeah, I mean, it's huge the way they went into the way baseball went out to kind of punish the wild cards, right, and make it so difficult on the wild cards to play it. Inadvertently, we kind of went through in the previous show, right, that both number 1 seeds kind of got hosed on that, and we're getting pretty good wild card teams coming at them versus the number 2 seeds in a great spot where you sort of have the easier path to the pennant. or to the championship series within there. So that that is a huge advantage for those teams.
All right, Dog. We actually have to wrap it up. Something just popped up, but we did get the show in here. Sorry to truncate you there and cut you short. Follow us at Diamond Diehards everywhere on social media. Follow the dog at Jeff Healy 8 on Twitter, and you'll be happy that you did. And subscribe everywhere you find podcasts, on Facebook, on YouTube, for the video. And for the audio, it's on iTunes and Spotify. That's going to do it for this special episode. Sorry we didn't get to talk too much more about Pujols, but we gotta wrap it up here now. And for the dog, Jeff Healy, this is Joe Rizzo. Diamond Diehards is out.